Hi, everybody. This is Lori Kirstein with the Goodbye Good Girl Project. And I am doing Monday Lives, Monday LinkedIn Lives. I know Mondays are tough and we need a little fun. We need a little engagement. We need a little something to think about that's different. And today, what I'm talking about is women leadership and the energetic power of feeling. Because if you're a woman who's been in any kind of business, you have probably been faced with this pushback when you have emotion that is actually showing, which everybody's actually does, by the way. But you probably have heard this: why are you so emotional? Or you're too emotional. Now, it's easy to get upset with that because the fact is that this is how all of us humans operate. And we women especially have that on lock. We really do understand what it is to be engaged with other people. It requires emotion. We understand that connecting with other people, connecting with other types of situations requires a shift in our emotional settings. We know how to be a little bit chameleon like when it comes to bringing up different parts of our personality. So when I say chameleon, I don't mean that we're pretending, although a lot of us do. We've learned to do that. And my company, the Goodbye Good Girl Project, helps you come out of that shell. I call it getting out and breaking out of your internal ceilings, your internal, breaking that internal glass ceiling is so important. We have all the shoulds and we have all of the self judgments that we've pulled in from outside and made our own. And then we stop ourselves from having the impact and the focus and the real lack of embarrassment and lack of shame when it comes to being exactly who we are. And once we're there, well, we can just keep on growing. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. So, as women, we do come across this thing a lot of you're too emotional. So, I just wanted to talk about the power of feeling and the power of emotion and help us all understand why it is kind of a non-issue once we see it from the right perspective. Now, I'm an extremely emotional person, and what I mean by that is that I'm very consciously driven by emotion. I understand, I'm aware of my feelings, I'm aware of the emotion. So I've had to spend some real serious time figuring out how to be in a world that would rather I were a little less loud, a little less expressive, unless I'm on stage. When I'm on stage, I'm good. Everybody wants me to be loud and expressive. So I like being there because there's no pushback, right? Now, there is something about any emotion you can imagine that is useful when you understand that emotion and feeling, these are energies. These are actual energies that you can use. So let me use as an example the one that is the toughest one of all. The one that is the toughest is anger, right? Anger, not good. So that's what we're told. Not good. Don't be angry. Don't show anything. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Anger is not seen for what it is, which is just a feeling. If space is made by the person opposite you to discuss what you're feeling, to discuss the difference in opinions, we can get through just about anything, we humans, because we are so creative. But if we are not, which often happens, we often come into this kind of situation in leadership. And when we are not the leader, when we are with somebody who has more power than us, we tend to get locked in an emotional box. And what really helps with anger, especially, is if you're looking at the right thing, then your anger's useful. So if you're angry at the person opposite you and you've just come into full, you're doing this kind of thing, you're going to have to find a way, both of you, to come out of that in order to really communicate and find a way forward. However, if what you're angry with really is something that's even a few degrees west or east of that person, you are going to be cooking with gas. For instance, this is such cool stuff. So, for instance, if, well, let me just tell you this first. I was feeling pretty upset with being contacted over and over and over again by the political party of my choice asking for money over and over and over and over and over again. And I was feeling pretty angry. And I mentioned this to the incredible writer, incredible woman, Carol Sanford, on here on LinkedIn, or on LinkedIn. I know I'm also going out over YouTube. And what she wrote back to me was absolutely incredibly brilliant. She said, "Don't be mad at them. They're stuck in the same system that you're stuck in. Instead, teach them." Well, I haven't figured out a way to teach an entire political party, but but her point was really poignant and really important. And what it was that if you are trying to be a person who stands outside of the norms so that you can find solutions as a leader, if you're trying to be a woman who doesn't want to play by the rules because the rules do not apply to us the same way they apply to men. Now, I'm not saying the men are doing so well, but that's a whole other topic. So if you are that person who wants to step outside of the paradigm that we have, where the only options we have are control, punish, uh, imagine that if we give somebody a little money or a lunch, they're going to feel terrific about working. There's more than that. If you want to be a leader and you are a creative thinker and you want to come out of the norm and you want to make a real impact, it is fantastic. Even anger will bow down before you if you understand that what you are upset with is bigger than one person. It's bigger than one person. Here's another thing. It'll really help you if you understand that you truly do have the power to find your way to being not impacted by that power. How the heck do you do that? Well, there is something I created, excuse me, called the 1% solution. And that thing pulled me out of incredibly deep, like I need a hospital deep depression. And so I have fluffed it out. I have put it into a format that actually helps people. So here's what I know. I know that if I can shift an emotion that is that deep, then I could also shift an emotion that is just, incredible anger with something, with someone or a situation. And I know that you can too. Now you might say, well, Lori, I don't know, you're an actor and you know how to bring up authentic emotions and just show them. And yes, I do. And I love it. I love being a chameleon like that. But it's always authentic. That's the thing. If you want to be a really great leader, you need to be able to use your authentic emotions to talk to your people, connect with your people, listen to your people, let them in. And you also need to use your emotion to create something completely different. We get off that topic and we go to presentations and talks. Oh my goodness. Do you think you could count on one hand, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no, the number of presentations or talks you've heard that bore the snot out of you? That you're just like, oh my God, they just downloaded facts on me and their voice was like this and it was really putting me to sleep. Happens a lot. It happens a lot because people are afraid to even reach out to ask for help around that stuff. But it is so much easier to get through when you can bring play, self awareness, understanding of things that are not about blaming yourself, not about how many ums and uhs did I say, not about how did I sound. You will know how you felt. When it comes to communicating, it's about how you feel. Whether you're on stage or you're off stage, whether you're commanding a room of 40 people or you're commanding a conversation with one person, your job, your opportunity, and your delight in the end is to control that energy. And it's really fun when you understand the aspects of it. For instance, have you ever talked to somebody who seems extremely technical and straight on, and they just, just the facts, and you're not that way, or vice versa. You are the I just want the facts, and you're talking to someone who's creative and they just seem fluffy and weird to you. If one of you can make an emotional connection with the feeling of the other, you can have a conversation. So it goes like this. I'm the creative one, right? I mean, I'm also strategic, but my core is not made of scientific stuff that I admire. It just does my head doesn't work that way. But my head will always work emotionally. It'll always translate what I'm feeling. So if I'm with you and I feel this thing happening with us where I can feel that you're frustrated with me, or I feel like I'm not happy with you, I take a step back inside myself, not externally. I don't back off away from you, but I take a step back inside and I say, what is the feeling that this person is wanting? And quite often it'll be that they want to feel like they're understood. So I've spent a lot of time translating how does one person need to be heard and need to be responded to in a way that makes them feel safe. If you provide a safe space for somebody emotionally, you will be able to have a conversation. Please understand, this is not about trying to control people. This is about trying to get out of fight or flight with the people you're leading. It's about trying to get out of this win and lose scenario and get to win-win. You don't have to agree in win-win. You can agree to disagree. But win-win is, here are two adults. One has a different relationship to the other. This person's a leader. This person is not a leader. This person is a leader. This person is a higher leader. There's always something going on there, right? But for you, if you just understand them, if you inside yourself go to feeling how this discomfort feels, how you think that they might be feeling, oh, they seem like they feel frustrated. Okay, why are they frustrated? Well, they're frustrated because they don't understand you and they think you don't understand them. Oh, what kind of person are they? Very scientific. Okay, so I'm going to be not my artistic, creative me. I'm going to still be me, but I'm going to be my very quieter, more direct, simpler me, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to receive that energy instead of trying to fight with it. When you start fighting with it, you've lost the conversation, you've lost the win-win, you've lost it all. It's not going to happen. And in traditional business, I think we ought to know by now that when we can't make and don't make space for the people who are working with us, as well as for us, then resentment happens. Resentment happens, resistance happens, people are unhappy with how they are at their job. They don't feel fulfilled. They feel like somebody's, putting their thumb on their neck. It's not good. It doesn't create good leadership. It doesn't create good outcomes. So what I want to suggest tonight is that we make space, emotional space for each other, that we move into curiosity instead of trying to be right. Trying to be right will never work, because once you have someone more than yourself in the room, you'll probably both want to be right. And you are going to be the bigger person. You're going to be the better leader. You're going to be the more fascinating person by going instead into fascination, into curiosity, into I wonder what's happening here. There is so much gold to be gathered there. And it is all emotional. Here's another place in which emotion and feeling really come into play, and that is when you're doing a presentation or you're giving a talk. You can't do it by just giving facts and think that people will be appreciative of that. That's a very rare situation. What we need to do is stories. We need to tell stories. And we need to talk about things that are fascinating to us and exciting to us and that we're impassioned about. And we have to bring our whole selves into the room, onto the Zoom, onto all of that, because that's what really interests us in each other. That's why we watch movies. It's not just, oh, that was a good story. But when we see somebody who really can bring a part of themselves out and be emotionally honest and open and real, it's thrilling. It is thrilling. Now, there's another thing about emotion that I just want to mention, which is that feeling and emotion are different. They're actually kind of different. Emotion we know well: anger, excitement, love, compassion, all of the emotions. We know the emotions, right? But we do go through our lives thinking, "Oh, I'm not allowed to use them. I'm not allowed to use them as a leader. I'm not allowed to use them in business." This is actually not the case. I know an incredible man who lives out on the West Coast of the US, and he's marvelous. He teaches C-suite people how to understand that this edict of, emotion's not helpful, emotion's not allowed, is something that they themselves then go against when they just go into anger as a norm. Because anger's easy. Anger is very easy, and it's rigid, and it says I'm right. So it has a sort of soothing quality about it in some ways. The problem is it doesn't change anything. It doesn't transform a thing. Nothing. And that's bad, because if you want to be a truly transformational woman, a truly transformational speaker, leader, communicator, you have to make room. You don't have to give up anything. What you end up doing is just expanding. You end up becoming this amazing person who can walk into any room and communicate with any kind of person. And you become the person who can walk on stage and, oh my gosh, you can control the energy. You are operating on different levels where you're not just stuck in, oh God, this feels terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to say the words and get the heck out of here. No, this is a whole different world of really being able to share and feel confidence in you and to feel excitement in you, not the terror you might be used to feeling, but the actual excitement. So we know about emotion. What is feeling? Feeling is definitely kind of I want to say a twin sister to emotion, but it's not really, because you can actually, before you go on stage, before you talk to this person you might be a little nervous about speaking with, you actually can feel what you would like to feel when you're speaking with them. And this is part of the 1% solution that I mentioned at the start. And I'll be glad to send you a pre-recorded training that I did about it online a number of months ago. All you'd have to do is put your, DM me, and then just give me your name and your email and put something in there like 1% solution. So I know what we're talking about. I'll be glad to send it to you. It has transformed the way that I understand my business. It has transformed the my definition of courage. When I am like taking a flying leap out into my business, out into the world, like I'm doing at this very moment, I see it so differently now. There's not this idea of, oh God, I'm going to mess up. No, it's I already have felt how I want to feel about this, which is excited and sharing and reaching out to you and touching you emotionally, right? And so in doing that with your feeling, what you're doing is you're actually preceding what you're doing. Like you're actually, let me put it in a different way. You're seeding what is going to happen, so that when I show up here, I don't have the self-doubts going on in my head. It's just not a thing. And it, I can't tell you what a difference it makes when you go out into the world to try to express who you are, what you do, why it's important, and why people should come to you. So, if you are the kind of person who wants to be visible in your life, I'm going to be doing a master class, and I'm doing it actually in person. So, on the date of February 24th, it will be live and in person in Covington, Kentucky, right across the river from where I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it's increasing your visibility through impactful public speaking. It is transformational in that we're going to be doing a lot. We're not going to be sitting there listening to Lori talk. No, I'm going to tell stories that I'm going to use to help you get into your really authentic being, your really authentic and strong, naturally strong way of communicating, whether it's on or off stage. We're going to be getting on our feet and doing some public speaking with each other. And I'm going to be coaching. And also, you're going to be doing dyad work with other women who, like you, are in business or who are creating a business, who are leaders, who want to be leaders, who are so tired of those internal glass ceilings and are just ready to be done. Because this is such a big step that there literally is nobody I've ever worked with who has not made that break and come out of the work seeing themselves in a completely different way. And yet they're them. They're more them. They're not somebody else suddenly. That would be horrifying. No, they're not somebody else. They're just more of them. And they feel a comfort that just catapults them to the next level. So if you would like to be a part of that, that is happening through a company called Aviatra Accelerators in Covington, Kentucky. It's Aviatra, ACCELERATORS .org. And they're incredible. They're incredible people. They are so caring and they are so always creating new things to help people. And they decided to bring me in as their very first masterclass leader. I'm incredibly thrilled and I can't wait. And if I would like to invite you to come, it is February 24th. It's 9 a.m. in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon. And I want to give you 20 bucks. I want to give you a 20-buck discount code, which is my name, just my first name, Lori, with a capital L. And all you have to do is put that into the link that I'm going to provide for you. If you want to DM me for the link instead, just DM me for the link and I will do that for you. It's not a problem. We really want to fill the room with amazing people who are just so eager to come out of the societally imposed and the internally imposed closet of being an amazing human with a lot to share. We all need what you have to share. You need it. We need it. It's incredible. Hey, Robin. Hi, sweetheart. Good to see you. Friend of mine from California. I haven't talked to you in 100 years, I think, which would make us really old. um, so I just want to invite you to that masterclass. It's going to be an absolutely amazing day. And we're going to have a guest speaker. It's a mystery speaker, so I'm not telling you, ha ha, but it will be announced quite soon. And I look forward to seeing you there if there's any way in which I can help you with public speaking, with doing your presentations, whether that's the actual presentation or it's how you appear. Let me know. I'm at goodbyegoodgirlproject@gmail.com. So don't make the mistake a lot of people do, which is Goodbye Girl, which was a really cool movie years ago. But no, it's Goodbye Good Girl Project@gmail.com because we've got to walk into a new paradigm if we're going to be who we want to be and who we need to be. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let me know how I can help. And I support you, whoever you are, wherever you are, and whatever you're doing to let yourself come out of that tight bud and actually blossom visually, visibly. Do it to it. Thanks so much for hanging in here with me. And I'll see you soon, I hope. See you next Monday. Actually, I'm doing this every Monday. Love and Moxie. Bye now.